Oh yeah, okay. Well, in the first video, I mentioned about the basic Japanese candlesticks that actually have a like a high and a low on them. Well, I'm going to show you one that doesn't actually have one. Okay, this is actually referred to as the Marubozu or Marubozu. I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce it. I have dyslexia, so pronouncing words isn't my favourite thing. All right, but anyway, what I'm going to do is show you what they actually look like, and they can be very powerful. I mean, the textbook says be careful with them. All right, because these are single candles, and single candles don't really have a sentiment behind them. All right, so as you can see with this, it actually opens and it closes. There's no new lower lows. There's no highs on them or whatever. But yes, for the most part, when you see these in like midways of a trend, like halfway through a trend, you should really stay away from it. But when they're at the top of trends, then you can possibly act off them. They are quite strong signals when you see these happen at the top of trends. They're kind of like reversal patterns, like fake moves on the way up. Then you will see some other times as well. Having said that, although this is a Marubozu formation, it's also been said that when you see like little tiny wicks on them as well, they also count as a Marubozu. But when you see them up like quite high like this, then it doesn't really count as one. Alright, it's only when they have a very small or have no wicks on them whatsoever, or have a very small wick shadows on them. All right. Now this one here, this would be better to take on if it was going on in an uptrend, and look for the drop lower. And this one conversely would be better if this was found in a downtrend, okay, for it to go back up. Now every confirmation candle that you go for needs to have another candle that can break preferably the high. Alright, and then what really needs to be done, I mean, there's two preferences. I mean, you can have the top part of the body be higher than the close, which is okay, but preferably you would like this body area to be higher than the high. If that is not possible, if that's not something, an option, then the next thing you need to look at is the high and make sure the high closes higher. And then if it does, then you can go long at this particular point to go along on it. Alright, now there's also some other candles as well which have either no wicks at the top or no wicks at the bottom, but it has at least one wick on them. Alright, this is actually referred to as a close cut or a close crop, where they've actually taken the top off. This does, on its own, it doesn't really have much market sentiment, but when you use it with previous candles, like old candles, and going back in the past, it actually has some kind of sentiment behind it. I mean, you can see here, this is where their first candle came in, and then there was like a gap here, and it started a new open right round about there, and it closed right round about here, but it made a new low down the bottom. Well, this is letting us know if this candle on its own is not giving us too much information, then we need to wait for the next candle to get an understanding of what the previous candles were saying. Alright, this is how it just basically works, and you wait for the new candle to come in, and once that new candle's come in, we wait for it to what it say, analyze it, what it says, and then we act on it. And acting on it basically means either sitting on our bum doing nothing, or we actually go for it and open the trade. Alright, so we can see that this one in particular, it didn't have any up area to it. It had no up wick. Alright, so there was no bullish sentiment, it was all bearish sentiment here. Alright, so the market wants to come lower. Then you might have another one that will look similar to this one, but this time it will be like, maybe it opened here, so here is where it closed, so here is where it's going to open, and then you might have a candle that goes the other way, but this time it doesn't have any sentiment to come down lower, but we had some buying power coming in to make this wick. This area where it's pushed it down down to this level, you can see where this is the high, and you can see where the bears had pushed it all the way up to that high, but then the bulls pushed it all the way up to that high, but the bears came in and pushed it all the way down to this level. Alright, so what's happened here, we've had an equal low, but we've had a higher close. Alright, and we've had a higher high as well, because this higher beats that high. So the next candle that comes in should be an upwards candle. Okay, should be an up candle. Alright, does that make sense? Alright, if not, please go through the video again and really sort of home in on these, you know, on these half cropped kind of candles as well, because they do play a nice role. Alright, although, you know, I'm saying that, you know, the next candle should or whatever, you should always look for those confirmations out there. Okay, so give that a go, see if you can find them in the market, and sit back and do some paper trading, see how it goes on. Alright, and we'll get you on into the next lot of videos, and see if we can get you through to some of these areas in the market that will show you some pretty good reversal signals. Alright, so I'll see you very, very soon. Bye for now.